What's up, guys? I'm going to keep this one quick, but I just want to touch on the topic of why some people are impossible to argue against or win an argument against in that sense. And the key aspect of excuse me of this topic boils down to essentially the way the person feels about whatever subject from the start. If they have an open mind, they're open to a change in opinion or a change in the way that they're viewing the current situation. Not even situation, environment, anything having to do with whatever the topic is that you are debating them about. If they have an open mind to that, that's when you can actually have a really good talk, argument, debate about whatever the topic is, where one side can win said argument with, in a very clear and effective way. And I do think that debating with other people is an important thing because it shares different sides of opinions on important topics with a lot more depth than you would typically get from a normal conversation. So there is usually a lot of value. But when there's zero value is when the person is closed-minded, when they already have their mind made up about a certain situation or thing, and they do not at all, and under any circumstances, plan on changing that view. That's when you're better off talking to a brick wall, because at least you'll be reflecting with yourself. You're talking to someone who has this closed-minded view. 99% of the time, they're just going to end up repeating whatever they said originally. They don't internalize anything that you're saying, and you're just essentially, even you could be making the best arguments known to man. You're talking, they're waiting for their turn to speak. Instead of you're talking, they're understanding what you're saying, they're coming up with a rebuttal to what you're saying, and they're speaking based on what you said. No, that's what happens when you have an open-minded person. It's a very two-sided conversation that morphs off of what is said by each person. With a closed-minded person, it's almost the exact opposite, because there will be clearly one side participating and one side not. Again, with this closed-minded view, it's extremely hard and often frustrating to be in. See, I don't want to say argument because that implies that there's some sort of harshness to it. So we'll say debate. In these debates, there's almost never anything you're going to take out of it. There's almost always zero value. Simply because this person is closed-minded and they don't have any intention of changing their view. This means that you're essentially regurgitating, not even no, they're regurgitating what they're saying. You keep bringing up new arguments, but it doesn't end up mattering because all they want is a turn to speak and a turn to say the same thing they've been saying. The best thing you can do if you find yourself in a debate with this type of person is to just leave. Just get yourself out of that situation as fast as possible and accept that you're not going to win. You won't necessarily lose, but you're not going to win. It's impossible to win to these people because it doesn't matter what you say. It has no influence or no impact on their opinion and their view on whatever the situation is. Excuse me again. That's all I've got for you guys tonight. Been on the quicker side. Yeah, I think that's really it. If it's night for you, I hope you sleep well. If it's morning, have a good day. Peace out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.